Welcome to another episode of the Global Game Pod, where we focus on one thing and one thing only, and that's football.
What a goal from Ronaldo! It is absolutely magnificent. It is David Beckham.
With Coach Rudy and friends, this is Global Game Pod.
Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of the Global Game Pod, where today I'm joined by somebody who ain't a household name yet, but will be very, 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 very soon. I've got no doubts about it. First of all, like always, this episode is brought to you by CKB Interiors. If you need kitchen, bedroom, and all of that stuff, go visit their website. It will be somewhere down there. Anyway, now going on to my guest, Mr. Dinesh Gillela.
Yes, sir.
How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. God willing, everything's good. Family's all good.
Wicked. Staying safe?
Yeah, man. Yes, man. You? Everything good?
Yeah, I mean, staying safe, doing things like this, just trying to waste as much time as possible, seeing as we're not on a full pitch. So for those guys who don't know, Dinesh is actually a first-year pro.
Second year pro now.
Second-year pro now at AFC Bournemouth. So he's a pro. He's done what every young boy, young girl dreams of doing in the football world. So first of all, kudos to you and congratulations on that.
Thank you very much, man.
I ran into Dinesh a few months back. Over at
February.
About February time. We're over at Billericay, where he's on loan there with us. But yeah, it's not about me talking about Dinesh, it's about Dinesh talking about Dinesh. So, D, just give us a little background on yourself, I know it's going to be difficult doing a couple of sentences, but just a bit about you, where you're from originally, your parents, stuff like that, and what you're doing now.
So, my parents originally from India, South India. And I was born and brought up here. Started playing football like every other kid when I was a young one. Like 4 or 5, playing for my local Sunday league team, playing at school, playing every day is what I dreamed of. And obviously, like every other kid, for me, the goal was just to play professional football, like be a footballer. Obviously, in school, when teachers used to ask you, what do you want to be? Like everyone's going to say footballer, but at the back of their mind, they're like, is it really realistic? But for me, it was always like, I have to be a footballer. I have to be a footballer. And the main thing I'd always say is, now looking back on it, is that I'm very blessed to have parents that have always pursued my dream for me and with me. So it was never like they're pushing me to be a footballer or they were refraining me from being a footballer. It was like, if you want to be a footballer, you go do it. You go follow it and we will back you 100%. And obviously went to Bournemouth when I was 16 to go do my scholarship there. And man, it was difficult at first because obviously being away from my family, being in digs, this and that. But now everything came together, and now at Billericay, trying to play men's football, experience that side of it, experience the non-league side of football, and man, hopefully, obviously, the end goal is playing the Premier League. So people have different journeys to get there, and I'm just trying to fulfill mine.
Nah, that sounds absolute quality, man. So 16 is when you were at Bournemouth, but what did you do prior to that, from like 4 to 16? That story, that's the story we want to dive into.
So when I was younger, it was just Sunday league football, obviously. And you'd go play Saturday training games on the Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, obviously you have your training with whatever you do. But there was always like little academies, little schools around my area that I'd always want to go to. Little after school clubs, playing football in the park, playing football in the garden with my friends. And it was just football. I think nowadays people have like a tendency to they sort of refrain from going out playing football in the park. Do you know what I mean? Like when I was younger, it was like we'll go to the garden, maybe 4 or 5 of us, or into the park behind the house, and we'll just go kick ball. But now it's like, there needs to be we need to go to a goals to kick football. We need to set out cones, we need to set out mannequins and do this and do that. But back then it was just like, let's just kick ball, man. 2v2, 3v3s, like let's just go and have a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? And like the more and more you touch the ball, the more and more better you're gonna get. Yeah. So I feel like people have such a certain regimented routine nowadays that I need to do this on a Monday, do this on a Tuesday, this on a Wednesday. But man, if you love football enough, go play football, man. It's gonna get you better. And that's basically what I was doing, man. And I was never really in the academy scene.
Okay.
So a lot of my like people around Woking, so I'm from Woking, grew up in Woking, still live here now. And to be honest, not many scouts would come over to Woking. Not many like clubs would come over and try and scout us. So the ones that did get scouted, obviously they went on like elite centres, development centres, went into the academy maybe a couple of times, Reading, Fulham, the local ones. But I was never really scouted when I was young. I was never really picked up. I was always like a good player, but I was never really, I'm going to be that guy that always gets scouted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I only got scouted at 15.
Wow.
Yeah. So I only got scouted to a professional club at 15 years old, and it was Brentford.
Okay.
So I got scouted at Brentford, and I spent a season at Brentford, but without a contract.
Okay.
I was there like almost like a trial for a whole season, basically, and it was probably the best experience I've had. Do you know what I mean? Because Brentford back then they were
quality,
really good, man, really good. And some of the players that you will be hearing of, like Giancarlo, like some big players like that were playing there. Joshua Bowie at Man United, Gio Dennis who was at Palace. So there was a good bunch of boys there, and you'll play with now, and you can hear their names and hear their stories. But I spent a season there, and then after the season ended, I went to Watford, and that was my first actual contract. I was at Watford for a season at under 16s, but they didn't offer me a scholarship. So as soon as that meeting happened, it was like maybe 2 weeks, and then Bournemouth gave me a ring. And I had no agent at the time, so I was a bit like, oh, what's going to happen? I'm going to do my A-level. So obviously at the time it was GCSEs. And being in an Asian household, they were like, you've got to get your GCSEs pattern. So obviously I'd done my thing that I got 4 A stars, 4 Bs, 2 Cs. So I'd done as best as I could. So I was always like comfy. Like if I had to go to college, like didn't really want to, but obviously I have to do it. You know what I mean? Get my A-levels done.
Of course.
But no, thankfully enough, Bournemouth called, and I went on a trial there. And it wasn't even that long, to be fair, and they gave me a scholarship straight away. Like it was.
So that's actually mad, because like at 15 years old, you're about to sit your GCSEs, and obviously you've done this year stint at Brentford, and you've got a contract at Watford. So in the back of your mind, you must be thinking, right, this is it now. So I'm not really too fussed about these GCSEs. I'm on a year at Watford, and they'll extend, they'll give me a scholar, and we'll go from here.
Exactly what was running through my head, man. That's exactly that.
And then when they're having a conversation, because this is one of the most important, I think, subjects that we talk about when it comes to youngsters and being in the academy system, because nowadays it seems like people are chasing the academy lifestyle, and people thinking, we're having this conversation every single day because this is what kind of things that creep up. But in terms of yourself, because you're pro, you're a professional footballer, you've been, and you was never in the academy system. Do you understand? You joined the academy since 15 years old. So you know what I think? More than anything, this is going to give a lot of youngsters a little bit of hope to say that it don't matter if you're not in the academy life. It's all about what you do personally for your own development and taking opportunities when they come, I guess.
And I think the biggest thing is to never lose that hope and never lose that determination, because a lot of kids are probably sitting there thinking, I'm not in an academy. I'm going to skill schools. What I was doing, I was going to skill schools or like the development centers, like that other coaches run, and there'll be players that are playing for Crystal Palace Academy. I remember I used to go to skill school, and there'll be like a Crystal Palace Academy, Fulham Academy, Chelsea Academy, Arsenal Academy, and then I'll be there like not in an academy. And of course, at the time, it's disheartening, and you want to be there, and you want to be with the academy boys, and you want to play in academy. But at the same time, it's everybody's journey is different. You know what I mean? Every single player is different, and every single player is unique in their own way, and you don't have to be like everybody else. And more time, the people that are like everybody else are not playing in academy football anymore. That's the thing I'm noticing now. So the players that I would be like, wow, they're playing in academy, they're not playing a professional football, man. I'm telling you. Maybe 2 or 3 of them out of the 50 people that I'm mentioning, only 2 or 3 are playing. And that's a fact.
Yeah. So that's actually, that is actually something that just, I think it's given me a little bit of a boost, because obviously, as you know, I run my own academy. And we have youngsters like, as young as 7, 8, 9 years old who want to be in academy. Well, I don't blame them. Like yourself, they're young at the end of the day, and they see as being as academy as a pinnacle of their
they want the tracksuit and they want the bags and they want to enjoy that bit. I know, I hear that. Yeah,
and it's the experience, isn't it? But we're talking about the end goal, and the end goal here is the pro contract. Do you understand?
Yeah, man.
That being out on the pitch. I mean, someone like yourself training with Eddie Howe, under Eddie Howe, I should say, but training with players like Josh King and all these guys, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh King, for anyone, Man United wanted to pay £50 million or whatever it was for him in January. And you're training with these guys, like, that's mad. And you're sitting on the camera opposite me right now.
Yeah, man.
That is, for me, is what it makes it even more mad. You know what? Especially to the youngsters that I have at my academy or to the youngsters in the locality, is that, listen, these journeys take time. For some people, it's quick. For some people, it's long. For some people, it's hard. For some people, it's easy. For yourself, I mean, to start at 15 years old, and what are you now? 19, 20?
I'm 20, man. Just 20. 20,
So in reality, in a span of 5 years, you've gone from no academy to pro footballer.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah.
That's
but
mad.
I think it's the main thing is, like, I go back to it again, and I'm very blessed to say that my parents, man, my mom and my dad would always tell me, it's not a sprint, it's always a marathon. Your life is a marathon. And the more you pace yourself, the better your marathon, the better your score will be, the better your time will be. And I feel like in football, in life, in anything, the more you look down look at it as a sprint, the quicker you'll burn out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're younger, I was always telling my dad, I need to be in an academy, and he said, it will come at the right time for you, but you just need to work on getting better as yourself. So set yourself goals, set yourself monthly, 6-month goals, season goals, and then work on those goals when you're young. Obviously now you have your own goals and your own plans, but when I was younger, it was more about thinking ahead and thinking for the future and working towards that, building the steps for that. And obviously, the last 5 years has been crazy, but just taking it in, man. And hope I'm nowhere near done yet, and nowhere near where I want to be. So I'm still building the blocks now at 20 years old for the next 5 years and the next 10 years, man.
Nah, that's absolute quality. But talk us through that day when you get offered the pro contract, man. How does that go, bro?
Man, this is crazy, man, because at the beginning of my scholar, it wasn't going well for me. I'll be completely honest with you, boy to boy. Like, went to Bournemouth and I wasn't playing. I wasn't playing football that much. Like, I was training with them and going in from training twice a week and playing a game on a Saturday at Watford to then going to Bournemouth and you're training every single day and you're in at 9 and you leave at 3, 4 and that's your day, that's your job, man. That's your profession. Yeah. And it's like, at the time, you don't really deep it, but it hits you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it hits you differently. Like, you pick up little niggles that you don't usually pick up because you're training every single day. Hits you mentally because you're in every single day and you're doing this, you're doing that. And away from your family and digs. And man, the first 3 months was bad. Like, I wasn't really enjoying it. Wasn't playing great football. Wasn't really playing that much football, to be fair. And after the Christmas break, it sort of switched for me. I started playing. Because during the Christmas break, I was working hard here, man. I came to working, have a coach here, and I was working basically every day. So I went back and then I was fitter than ever. I was stronger, playing better football. And then it all started to swing. Do you know what I mean? That what you give is what you get. Also, I also say that. So the more work you put in off the pitch, the more you're gonna benefit from it on the pitch. And I could sort of see it turning my side. And so that first year season it started poorly, but it ended on a high. Won the league, we won a competition, won a cup, and it started going well. Second year scholar was basically the same. Like, I continued that momentum, but I was never at under 18s. I was never training first team. I never trained with the 23s. All the other boys were training with the 23s, but it was me and a couple others that got left out. And it sort of hits you, it burns, man, because you see them like training with the 23s, and you're like, damn, like I should be me. And you have your arguments for it, but it's like, you can't really say much when you're 17, 18. You know what I mean? So it was like, oh, damn, like, you just got to swallow it and get on with it. And then second year scholar, around February, March time, we went to Milan. We went to Italy on like a little tour, and I played really good against Milan. I came back and then playing 20, and then started training with the 23s. It was a bit of a boost, you know, like, I played against AC Milan and coaches, this and that. You played well against AC Milan, this and that. Came back and then I started playing well, and then started training with under 23s, like slightly, just like once or twice.
Okay.
And then we had a game against the 23s. And the first time I got called up for the 23s. Then I was like buzzing. I was like, oh, I could get on here, but I didn't get on. I was on the bench the whole time. Came back and I was like on the coach, like, oh, what the hell, man? Like, don't really think I'm gonna get a pro here. Like, getting called up, but maybe I'm just getting called up for the sake of it. This and that, like, loads of things running through your head as a footballer, like that many people may not want to share, but that is the reality of a footballer. You know, like sometimes you'll be up 100%, sometimes you'll be rock bottom, and when you're rock bottom is when like you got to show your character, man, and you got to show a bit of perseverance, bit of grit, roll your sleeves up, and just get on with it. And then the very next day, I got a call. Oh, Dinesh, you're training with the first team.
Wow.
Get yourself over to the first team, the stadium. And in my head, I was like, that's a bit crazy because yesterday I couldn't even get a minute in the 23s, and now I'm training with the first team. So that's how quickly you can switch.
Yeah.
And went train with the first team, and it was great, man. Honestly, like see Nathan Ake, see Callum Wilson, Josh King, you know what I mean? All these ballers, Jermaine Defoe at the time, ballers, man. And you're like, damn, like these are the guys as where you want to be as a footballer. And since that session, I was training with them quite regularly. Like a lot of players go and come back, but I was there, and I was there for maybe like 3-4 months regularly.
Okay.
And at that time, I was like, you know what, it could switch for me. This is the change that I sort of needed, and this is the bit of confidence that I needed. And I remember the time we got the meeting for our professional contracts. Our parents weren't there, agents weren't there. It was just you.
Okay.
And I got called into the 23s office before the session, and I knew that I was training with the first team that day. So in my head, I was thinking, if I'm training with the first team, I should get a contract. You know what I mean? But
of course.
In the back of your mind, you're like, is it a
doubt,
test? Like, there's
doubt
a bit
creeps
of doubt
in
there.
there.
Yeah. No matter how much you believe, there's a bit of doubt. Like, am I gonna get one? Am I not? But yeah, man. Thankfully, God willing, I got one. And yeah, man, I've just been there, and I've been grafting, grinding, trying to do whatever I can to try and get to the Prem.
And what was that like? So you get told you're getting a pro contract. So is that do you get 2 years in straight away?
No, it was just a 1 year. Like everyone got this the standard 1 year.
So you get a 1 year contract. So is this what is the next thought? Or what is the first thought? Is it I need to get on the phone? I need to phone my parents. I need to phone my agent.
So that's what I'm saying. So obviously I was at the first team ground training, and then I went up, had the meeting, and I came down. And then my teammate at the time, we were both training with the first team, and I was like, yeah, man, I got one. And he was like buzzing for me. And then a couple of other guys, the first team players, are like, congratulations. And it was good to hear them say kudos to me. Obviously, I was inside. I couldn't really call on that, so I just messaged my mom, messaged my dad, messaged my agent at the time. But yeah, man, it was good. It wasn't really emotional. I'm not really that much of an emotional person, but it was like, wow, like sort of got something that I've always wanted.
Yeah, of course.
But it doesn't really mean that much because I'm not where I want to be. Do you know what I mean? The professional is the start, but I'm not where I want to be.
That's a proper good mindset to have. I mean, like for me, I'm buzzing to hear just the fact that you signed. You know, I'm trying to be in that moment, like how it was for you, and it feels like a proper buzzing moment. But for you to stay disciplined and say, right, I've got the first, like I've got the next step to where I want to get to. But this ain't the end goal. So put it to the side now. Let's go. Let's get out there. Let's get ready to work. So that training session, was it like a normal training session, or was it, because sometimes you have them when you're buzzing, you have an excited training session, or was it one of those where you had to be like, right, cool, let me get my bearings back now. Let's go out and it's time to work hard again.
Exactly that. It was just a fact of me basically just putting it to the side. Like, it's done now. I've got it. It's done now. What's the next step sort of thing? That's it. So went out to the training session. Obviously, the gaffer knows I've got one, and like this and that. So, but yeah, like I was just trying to be as normal as possible, do everything as normal as I could, and then go out and not be too excited, not run my heart out, not run around like crazy. Just settle. It's just a normal session. Do you know what I mean? Like they're normal players, like we're normal environment. Nothing's really changed. I've just been offered a paper, offered a contract, and that's it.
Completely hear that.
But yeah, no, it was good. And obviously, the game's coming up. It sort of gives you a little bit of a boost. Like, now I'm a professional footballer. I've got to give a bit more, do this, do that. So yeah, that's basically it, man.
Have you ever been called up to the first team squad yet?
Nah, man, not official match day squad. No, that's the goal. But hopefully soon. And obviously, last year was a bit of a disappointing season for me. I was just out injured for basically the whole of it. So yeah, I came back pre-season and done my hamstring. Okay. And done my other hamstring. and then that was it for like 5 months, and it was a recovery process, and thankfully I'm fine now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was just a painful season, mentally tiring season. But then I got myself back in this season, and thankfully I got extended last season as well. So I played a couple games, three games, and I played well in all those games, to be fair. And I got myself extended, and this season I come in, and for me it was just mainly get as many games as I can, and then try and step in, either if it's with the first team or try and get myself out on loan to try and play men's football. Age where 20 is like, I need to play men's football now. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. And obviously you came over to us at Billericay, and I remember Jamie. I remember being in the manager's room with Jamie, and so we were scheduled. I think it was I saw you on a Saturday. I
saw you in Maidstone at home.
Yeah, so I think it was the Tuesday where we were at home as well. I think we just beat Wilson. I'm not sure if it was Wilson where we just beaten, but I can remember it being a positive vibe in a management room. And Jamie saying that we've got a kid coming, or I'm trying to get a kid in from Bournemouth, tall, quick, and I love hearing that. Whenever Jamie mentions loans, I love hearing it because it's like, someone from the pro game's coming. You understand? And for me, I'm still a football fan more than anything. I'm a football fan, and like my personal story is that I didn't think 6 months ago that I would be in an environment where I'm coaching or I'm around pros, like current pros. So when I hear like someone's coming in for Watford, I remember when Harry came in and I was like, so someone's coming in for Watford. I'm like, rah, Premier League players coming, you know, because it doesn't matter whether you've played in a matchday squad or not. You're a Premier League footballer. I mean, no one can take that away from you. If you're training with a Premier League first team, you're a Premier League footballer. In my eyes, you're a Premier League footballer. And so when I remember Jamie telling me, and I had no idea, because Jamie just like, it's a footballer. Do you understand? So I had no idea like whether you were Asian or whatever. I didn't know your name. Yeah. So when I remember when I came in, because the game got cancelled, if you remember.
Yeah, the game got cancelled. I came in because I was initially gonna come with my boy that signed for Maidstone.
Yeah.
We both drove up to Essex together, and I was like, just got there. Yeah, obviously I was driving, so I wasn't on my phone, and then my boy calls me and he goes, "Hey, yo, D, the game's been called off." And I'm like 5 minutes away, man. I've driven 3.5 hours, bro. I'm telling you, it was hot in the car, like traffic. And I was like, nah, you're bantering. So I'm 5 minutes away. I was going, you know what? I'm just going to go in, step in and say hello to the gaffer, say hello to the coaches there and try and see if I can get just see around the stadium and that, innit? So I came in and I saw the gaffer, and then I had a meeting with the gaffer, and then that's when you come into the office.
Yeah, so I'm just walking. I was just walking. We were doing a session outside, so I was just cleaning up. I was let me go put some cones and stuff inside, because you know what we're like. If things go missing as coaches, and quite a bit of perfectionist, like I need my stuff back in the room. So I walked in, I seen you, and I'm like, I swear to God, this was my honest inside my mind reaction. I was like, there's another brown guy here.
Yeah, man.
And honestly, I thought, who, what, where, why, what's going on?
What's going on? Yeah.
And then Jamie goes, this is Dinesh from Bournemouth. I was like, right, this is the kid he was talking about. Yeah. And if you remember, they said they were going to do your photo shoot and whatnot. And I said, do you know what, bro? Come with me. And I had my Insta out, and that was genuine buzz. Like, because you remember the time, that was February. So I'd only been there since the back end of December. So those 1.5 months, 2 months, every game I go to, I'm looking for a brown face. I'm not joking. I look for a brown face. I'm thinking, there must be somebody else. And there isn't. And then you walk in, and you're at Billericay with me, and I'm like, and you're pro.
What are the odds?
You're pro. The thing is, if you were semi-pro or something like that, I may have just been like, great stuff, well done, cool. But because you're pro, you're at Bournemouth, you're a Premier League side, and it's like, I've never heard of you. No one else has ever heard of you.
Yeah.
Nah. Someone, and I was just like, yeah, but that was like a short stint, and after that it was like, cool, it's just Dinesh, he's just another football player.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think that was the case for the coaches, the players, and everyone. I don't think anyone, once you're in that environment, I don't think anyone really gives a flying monkeys, do they?
Yeah, they don't, man, they don't. And that's the same with everywhere else. So even if you're playing at the Prem, and then someone comes in from, I don't know, like a top 4 club, and come down to you, to them, that you're another footballer.
Yeah.
And to me, I don't treat anybody different. If you're playing for, I don't know, Billericay, if you're playing for Arsenal, you're all the same to me, man. And everyone's equal in my eyes. Do you know what I mean? So I think obviously you get that bit of buzz at the beginning, and you're excited. Oh, let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's got. Is he any good? But then after a while, everyone's on the same playing field.
Yeah.
So
Now
there's
that's
no real
so
difference.
in your journey, would you say that your ethnicity ever played a part? Consciously or like obviously or subconsciously? Do you understand? Like, was it
Obviously,
ever a factor?
I feel like, yeah, it definitely was. And sometimes you need to be brave and come out and say, like, yeah, obviously, I don't think I done this maybe because I was brown, or I never got the opportunity maybe because I was brown. I don't really know about that because it's hard to say. You can't really just put that out there. But I feel like when you're younger, you get racist abuse. I've endured that a lot through my career. When I was younger, playing Sunday League football, there have been racist comments and racist stuff thrown at me. And at the time, like looking back on it, it's sort of like it was sort of normal. Like it was like a normality that you didn't really take to heart. Like I wouldn't really sit and cry about it. It was just like, damn, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, you really gonna say that? And then at the time, you have a bit of fire in your belly, fire in your head, and then after a while, it's like, screw this guy, man. But the racist abuse was always there. But in terms of like hindrance, I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm not too sure. But looking back on it, I don't really know.
Yeah, but in the professional environment,
Yeah.
I
don't really think so.
This is the argument I'm having with a lot of people. Yeah. Now, I'm an advocate for Asians in football. Don't get twisted.
Yeah.
But I'm also one of the few who question us, that the Asian community, because we do have a tendency of being victims all the time, and we do have a tendency of playing the race card when maybe we don't need to.
Your way.
Yeah. Do you understand? And there's a lot of stories I hear. Well, I could have been pro if.
Yeah.
But it's someone like yourself, you know, not in the academy system for whatever reason. You know, did the scouts didn't take a liking to you? Could have been based on your skin color. Could have been anything. We can't just say it's this,
we
this
can't
or this.
justify that. Yeah, we don't know that yet.
Because we don't know.
Yeah.
But then obviously you get your scholar and you get your pro, and you're obviously there training with these guys, and you're there, you're in that environment. And then we're looking at it and thinking, and this is the argument I'm always having. I'm saying, if you're good enough, I promise you, these guys don't care what skin color you are.
Yeah.
Because
it's true.
You're a commodity.
Yeah.
You are either you've got a great sell-on value, or you're gonna boost shirt sales, or you're gonna be the next big thing, or you're gonna go in and make an impact on that squad or that team, whatever it may be. But to get a professional contract, I mean, we hear the stats all the time: 1 in 1,000, whatever it is, that come through the academy system. You didn't even come through the academy system. So what were your odds? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's like if from the academy system is 1 in 1,000, you've come from a completely different environment.
From Sunday League football,
From Sunday League, from grassroots football, what we call it. And you've got it. So what we're saying is that in the professional environment, it's not really that big a case. But how many more, like when you're playing, for example, when you're in the 23s, when you're in the first team, or when you're going to games and stuff, do you look out for other Asians? Do you see if there's any other Asians about, or you kind of just like not?
No, because I feel like it's funny, you hardly see any. So like it doesn't even skip your mind. You know what I mean? If there was at least like 5-10%, you're like, there may be a couple guys out there. None, man. You can count them off your fingers. You can count them off your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like not a case of looking out for them. It's more of if you see them, you're like, kudos, man, good for you. And I have that towards other Asians, like, well done, man. And I'm sure they probably have it to us because they know what we go for, and it's a bit harder, and there's no one around, and there's no one that you can sort of look up to and say, this is who I want to be like. No sort of inspiration, no sort of role model. So it's but yeah, not you don't really look out for them. No.
Nah. But when you see them, what's your so like for example, I gave you my reaction when I saw you. When you saw me, and then Jamie says, "Yeah, this is the first team coach at Billericay." What's going through your head at that moment? Like,
I was thinking, well done.
Nothing.
Like, it was like, damn, that's good, because I've seen you know what? I haven't actually seen an Indian coach. You know what I mean? Even like school coaches, I haven't seen any. So when you sold me, oh, you're a coach at Billericay, I was like, wow. In my head, I was thinking, wow. So yeah, man, it was basically the same reaction. To be fair, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like what you reacted like. It was like me. So I was like, wow. But obviously, I didn't get my phone out. I started reading with you. I was just like,
No,
in my head, I was
you're a
thinking,
pro. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I'm a normal guy, man. But in my head, I was thinking, wow, like, kudos, man.
Nah, see, that's okay. But does that make a difference for you? I personally, my opinion is when I was playing, I couldn't really give a monkeys about what the coach looked like.
Yeah.
You're part of my development in
Yeah,
essence.
yeah.
You just gotta be good at what you do and
Yeah.
get me to the next level. Does it cross your mind? You know, when you see
Nah,
coaches,
man.
it doesn't.
Nah. It doesn't really
I
cross.
thought so. I thought just as much. And it's like for me, innit, like when I walked in at Billericay, and obviously you see, you know, the likes of Ronnie Henry and all these guys. They're big hitters in the game.
Yeah, man. They play at the level.
Yeah, they're big hitters in the game, and you look at it and think, oh, they're gonna take me seriously. Like,
Yeah.
do you understand? Like, because
Yeah.
I come in from a position of power. It's like, how am I supposed to? Because I'm not the biggest guy in the world.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't got a commanding presence. I know all of this. I knew all of this before I took the job, and I was like, well, I've just got to be able to talk football with these guys, isn't it?
Yeah.
In reality, all they want to know is you're gonna
It's the
better
same
me.
language, man. Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Football's the main language, and it doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't really discriminate. I don't think. If you're good at football, you're good at football, and if you know your stuff, you know your stuff. So I feel like even when we're coaching and you take the session, take the warm up. I've been at places where coaches aren't taken seriously, and the players sort of like just banter about, mess about with him, and don't really do it properly. But I've noticed like when you take the sessions, and there's a good thing at Billericay because you have these senior players that know what it takes and know like you got to do it, man. You have to do the warm up properly. You have to do the passing properly. It's gonna only make you better. So the likes of Ronnie Henry, likes of Jules, the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You have players and Dougie. You have players that take the stuff seriously, and it's good, and it sort of helps you in a way as well to have these players around. But like I was like, everyone's taking your session seriously, and even when the skipper took a session, I was thinking, people may banter about, but obviously he's a big guy, so he had that presence, the skipper as well. So everyone took it sort of seriously, and it was good to see that. I thought it would be a bit stop-starty, but no, it was really, really good. And that's what I've noticed about the sessions at Billericay is that it's intent. Whether it be a non-league session, whether it be a professional session, there's intensity in how we train, and it's a massive factor, man. There's no intensity, there's no point. It's not going to get you better.
That's exactly it. And for me, that was a mad culture change and culture because I come from kids football. You know, so when I initially joined, like the first time I don't even know if you were there, but the first time I was given a warm up, man, I flopped. Man, it was just a warm up, man, I flopped it, yeah. And it was like one of those where you forget what you know because of the environment.
Yeah.
I was just like, I froze.
Yeah.
And I was do a couple of laps. Yeah, get in a circle, do stretch. And it was terrible. Looking back, it was terrible. And I think from that moment, I was like, nah, do you know what? The boys are intense. They want the session to be good. I have to be at that level.
You have to step up
all the time.
Yeah,
and some people might have folded, and some people might have gone, nah, you know what, this ain't for me. I'm going back to kids football. I'm going back to where I'm comfortable. I think I like the challenge of it. I like the fact that, because when I see you guys like yourself, Harry, you know, we've had Ashley, we've had all these boys come on loan and stuff, yeah. And when I see you guys, and the thing in the back of my head is right, these guys are at National League South. They're here to learn their trade.
Yeah.
But they're professionals. So they have a certain way of doing things. They have a certain way coaches talk to them, certain way coaches give instructions. I need to be on it, and I don't know if you notice it from my perspective, from my angle when I'm looking at it, or when I'm giving you simple set piece instructions and stuff like that. I'll always ask you, dude, what do you think?
Yeah.
You know, is this good for you? Is this not good for you? Is this because at the end of the day, I'm just a coach, and like I said, I'm just a guy who has to try and develop you a little bit if I can, and play a small part in your journey. Do you understand? So you're in control of your destiny at the end of the day.
100%.
If I can help you in that, and you can help you, then it's better than me thinking I'm the dog's bollocks. Listen to me, it's my way or the highway kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
For you as a player, what is it you're looking for in a coach in essence? What are you looking for?
In terms of in a club environment, like in terms of in and around the club environment?
Yeah.
It's just to be as firm as you can with what you say. I remember like I've had maybe 3 different coaches in my time at Bournemouth, managers that I played under. I remember the first one being Carl Fletcher, and you probably heard of him.
Yeah, of course.
Played for Bournemouth, played for West Ham, FA Cup final, played for Wales, like big dog. And he's commanding. You know what I mean? Like doesn't take shit, doesn't take anything. He's commanding, like, and you have a bit of you sense a bit of oof, like he speaks to you, you're like you listen. You know what I mean? One of them ones. And if he drags you, you take it. He takes you off, you take it, because at the end of the day, you know, you may like be so angry at the time, and other players will be angry at the time, and at the end of it, we'll sit down and we say, you know what, he's only trying to make you better. And now looking back on it, like he only tried to make me better. And now we have a good relationship and we speak quite a bit because he's the loan manager now.
Okay.
So yeah, now we speak quite a lot. And yeah, so I remember he was very strict with what he said, and he was very commanding and very demanding. Second manager was Alan Connell, who also played for Bournemouth, and he was more like player friendly, if you could say. Like he would speak to you, and he would speak to you before the games, and he would ask you, how do you find this? How are you finding that? How you finding training? And he was very more pally, but at the same time, you need to sort of give a command. He sort of had command, and I think and the current manager now, who's Sean Cooper, who's very commanding as well, and he always wants the best in training, whether it be training, games, always 100%. And if you're not 100%, he'll let you know. And I feel like all 3 of them, they have their differences, but the similarities are all. Firstly, they want to win, so they do everything it takes for them to win, whether it be training, matches, and they make sure that everyone's at 100% at all times.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a coach, as long as you get across the fact that you want to win and you want to be at the top at every time, then the players will take you seriously, man. Because that's all we want to do as well. We may banter about in the change room and that, but when we're out on the pitch, we want to win. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter how you play. We want to win, and we want to play as best as we can. So I feel like as long as the coaches get across the point that they're serious about themselves and they're serious about the fact that we want to win, it's easy, man.
Yeah, that's absolutely, yeah. And I think the more you do something, the better you get it. Like yourself, like, you know, exactly, in 5 years where your journey's taking you, the more you've worked at it, the better you're getting at it, and you're still learning now. Because I remember your first game. And
I look back on it, I was like, it's probably the worst game I've played in a long time.
Yeah, I remember that. We were Grays away, was it?
Grays away on the 3G. And I started well, and then I don't know, like it was just completely different.
I was rooting for you. I was rooting for you massively, you know. I was rooting for you. I was there, and I was like, and I think when I look back at it, I think that grew you in the men's game a little bit, because now you've had a good run since. You've had a very good. Obviously, you come in and out of the squad, and it's going to happen at all levels. Playing Tuesday, Saturday, playing 2 games a week and stuff like that. But when you've come in, I don't think you've been bad since that first game. But that first game, I remember you coming off, and as you're walking off, I'm looking at you, and I could see it. I could see the dejection in your face. I could see you being down, and I didn't want to spend too long talking to you, but at the same time, I needed to. I don't know. It was a part of me that just needed to let you know that, mate, don't even worry about it.
Don't worry about it too much. Yeah.
Do you understand? It's gone. What are you gonna do about it? We have to bounce back from this. But you did bounce back from it, and I remember the sessions after that and everything. And you do things very, very. I don't know if it's different or from the players that we've got in the group. Like you said, you mentioned some big hitters a little while ago. You know, Lofty, Ronnie Henry, Jules, Jake Robinson, even the likes of Femi and all these guys. Do you understand? These are big hitters in the game, and I think you bring out something in them, but they bring out something in you as well. And the more you've been with them, the more comfortable you've got. Yeah,
100%.
And we talk about, because I always talk about with youngsters, I always talk about rejection. It's like when they're saying that we always say, when you get married, make sure you learn about divorce, because you don't want to go down that path. You understand? So when you're becoming a pro footballer, make sure you learn about rejection, because you don't want to go down that path. And obviously,
I feel like you can learn about it to a certain extent, but you sort of have to endure it. You know what I mean? You have to go through it before you can actually turn the page and learn from it.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's only so much we as a coach or as a player, we can tell the youngsters coming up about it. I feel like they need to endure it themselves. And a lot of players that have been at one club for their whole life. So I remember players that have been at Crystal Palace, Fulham since they were 6, 7. getting to 16, not getting offered a scholarship, and they don't play football anymore because they didn't know how to take it. And yeah, man. So I think the quicker they're exposed to reality about not everything's going to go their way, the easier it's going to be for them to bounce back. And like for me, that Billericay game, that first game for me, it was a burn. Like it burnt me. But at the same time, I was like, come on, man, I've had way worse than this. You know what I mean? I've been told to play for the 16s before. Like when I was 17, 18. This is nothing, man. One game is not going to change the way I think. I remember coming home and I was on the phone to my mum and my dad, and I was like, what the hell? Like it was completely different, a completely different environment. The instructions before the games were a lot different. Team talk was a lot different. So I was like, what? Like it sort of bewildered me. I'm not gonna lie. Before the game, I was bewildered, and then during the game, I did as best as I could. And obviously, I came off, and I was like, like you mentioned. But at the same time, after when I was getting changed, I was thinking, it's all right, man. You know what I mean? Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and you're good to go again.
That's it. That's exactly it. And it is a different world. Men's football to 23s football. It's
way different. Yeah,
it's a completely different world, you know. And I've not had the experience of it. I would love to come. I've seen a few games at 23s level, and I've seen a few games in a few sessions at 15, 16. Quite lucky in that sense that I've been able to, you know, be in and around those places. I've like the best experience I think I had in terms of like being a student is with Freddie Ljungberg at Arsenal when he had the under 16s and under 15s even, and that was just a good thing to see and how he conducts himself because he's pro. And then obviously you see how Jamie behaves and how he conducts himself is different because obviously he's talking to men. How Gift speaks is different. So I'm always learning. I know 100% players are always learning, and I think for you as a player, is it more of a case of like taking small bits from all these individuals that you meet along the way, or is it like one person sticks with you, one philosophy, one idea sticks with you?
No, I feel like you, as a player, the best way you can improve is picking up little things from different people. So when I remember I told like some of the players that I played with the 23 teammates, and I'm like, bro, I learned so much more from these past, I wouldn't even say 2 months, 1.5 months, 2 months, than I've learned from maybe a whole season playing 23s football, man.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. Like the way the game is changing, obviously it's non-league, so obviously the difference is there in itself. That speaks for itself. But in terms of the way men play for points is completely different, and it changes. And when we look at the football on TV, you can sort of see the similarities with the non-league football and when Championship Premier League football teams play, because the ideology is still the same. Like when you're in trouble, you've got to do this. When you're in different parts of the game, you've got to do that. And I feel like obviously the quality is the only difference there. I feel like, but some teams set up the same way, and people sort of discourage that from the Premier League. The same like players, teams like Burnley, teams like Stoke, and they try and play, and even teams like City and some non-league teams, you see that like Wealdstone, they were very, very good. But when there are certain times where you see, okay, fine, they need to do this to get out of trouble, and City do the exact same thing.
Yeah, of course.
People don't discourage City when they do it, but people always discourage the non-league teams. I find it weird, but as a player, I realized that very early.
And going back to obviously being an Asian in football and an unknown Asian in football, I think it's fair to say that. Right?
Yeah.
But I think we need to put it up, or my job is to put everyone on the map, not just Asian footballers. Just, you know, I just like, to be honest, I just like supporting young players who are playing the game. You know, they don't necessarily have to be young. I just love players who are playing and love listening to the stories and love learning from them as well. Because I think as a coach, you can learn a lot from a player. Because like I said, sometimes as a coach, as a coach, you don't get to mingle with all the different coaches and learn all their different ideas, but through a player you can learn about certain individuals, their qualities, and stuff like that. Do you understand? So that's I love players. I love what they do. I love what you guys do. But for you being an Asian player, and I'm going to call you that, what message would you give to the youngsters, the young Asian players coming up now? What would you say to them?
I feel like if you want to be a footballer, nothing should stop you from trying to be a footballer. And whether it be your parents that say different, obviously they have their reasons for whatever they say, and I sort of accept that and understand that. But at the same time, you need to be able to, if you really believe you can be a footballer, you should do whatever you can do to be a footballer. And like I said, I can't stop thanking my parents enough for what they have done for me as a youngster. And I understand not every other Asian footballer has the same sort of parents. But at the end of the day, if a player wants to be a football player, you have to. And it's very easy to say that, but do the extras that you can do. Go to the sessions that you can. If it's an hour and a half away, take the train an hour and a half away and get there and do the session. Do you know what I mean? And nothing should really stop you. There shouldn't really be a case of, oh, I'm too tired. Oh, it's raining. Oh, it's too far away. That should never really be the case. Because I remember going to training for Watford and I had to leave. As soon as school finished, I was out the door quickly. As soon as that bell rang, I was sprinting out. I was one of them year 7 kids at year 11 sprinting for the bus, bro. I'm telling you. And man were laughing at me like, oh, look, Dinesh is running. But for me, I need to get that bus. If I miss that bus, I ain't taking the train.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get late for training. And it all adds up. So you've got to do as much as you can do and do whatever you can to fulfill what you want to do, man.
Nah, that's actually sound words, because I think when the youngsters, when parents, other players, other coaches watch this, not just from an Asian background, because that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
But you are from Asian. You can't hide the fact what you are. Do you understand?
Yeah. No, and I'm proud about it, and I'm proud that I'm one of the only ones and one of the few that are doing it, because it sort of, firstly, it makes me feel good about myself that I've done it and accomplished it. Secondly, it makes me feel good that I'm like a role model for the younger Asians that are trying to do it as well. And like, whether it be family, friends, or neighbors that are seeing me and in the kit running around, they're like, oh, I want to get that kit. You know what I mean? And I want to be there. I want to do this. I want to do that. So it's good for that as well.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say, because you are role model now, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Understand? But that's not to say that you have to have all the added pressures of being a role model. You know, it's hard enough being a pro footballer. But it's just, I think, something that maybe you can think about in the background as well. That, you know what, I am an Asian footballer, and I think that's why I was desperate to bring you on here, because it was like, I need people to see that we are in the game, we are playing, and sometimes it's not highlighted, because like we're saying, you are just a pro footballer.
Yeah.
You're a footballer before an Asian footballer. Do you understand? You're a footballer, and I don't think we should, because you don't hear people saying black footballer or white footballer. So we don't need to say Asian footballer. We can see what you are.
Point it out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. But in our own community, we may have to say that, look, someone has taken the leap, and not only have they taken the leap, but they've done it in such a unique way that where all you guys are chasing these academies. We're not saying don't chase academies. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're good enough to be at an academy, go and play academy football and learn your trade. But it's not the be all end all.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world if you're not playing academy, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because I know a couple like playing at Swansea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's been in an academy throughout the ages. There's another boy at Spurs, and he's been through the academy, I think. So there are ways you can do it. Like, they've been through the academy and they're doing it. But obviously, I just haven't been through the academy and managed to get to where I am. So there are different ways to do it, and don't be disheartened if you're not in an academy. That's all I say, because there are pressures being in an academy as well.
Yeah, of course, there are.
Like 3 days a week when you're 11, 12, you're training 3 to 4 times a week, missing school, doing some day release, and it's gonna get you tired, man. And I think that's what I'm fit now. I'm healthy. You know what I mean? It could be the fact that I haven't been playing that much like academy football. So I've just been kicking ball when I was younger, and I'm just kicking ball as well now. You know what I mean? So it's no different for me, man.
Yeah, nothing's changed for you, and what was a hobby is now a job, but your job's your hobby at the end of the day.
Exactly, yeah, man. I'm blessed to be doing what I'm doing right now.
Nah, and it's blessed to see your journey. Do you understand? Like, so
what
what are the future ambitions and that? You know, how high are you dreaming?
Bro, I always say you got a dream for the stars, man. So for me, it's playing Premier League football, playing to the best I can, which I know I can. National teams, which I've been sort of talking about and have sort of been working on. The Indian national team is one option. but obviously the passport situation, there's a passport situation there, which is a bit techie. But yeah, man, and helping out back home, helping out in India, setting up some stuff in India, trying to help out the Indians there as well. That's what my big ambitions are. Yeah.
That's sweet. That's something I think we can talk about on the side.
Yeah, yeah,
Where we love projects.
yeah,
I love me a project. So we're opening the Dinesh Gillela school in India.
Yeah.
You know,
Big man. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Nah, that's it. That's exactly it. And obviously, what like in terms of the immediate future,
Yeah.
we're obviously going through what we're going through right now. We have no idea as to when we're ever going to get back out on the football pitch.
Yeah.
What's your advice for youngsters right now
Yeah. I'd say keep yourself fit, keep working out in the garden, keep doing what you can at home, and watch videos. This is the time where you can watch games back, watch as many clips as you can. Watch if you've got games of yourself, watch them back. If you've got games of like I don't know if you recorded some games, if you can get match highlights on YouTube and watch it back. Watch the whole game back. I say there's a difference between watching individual clips and watching the whole game back. And I'd rather watch people give you the individual clips. Like I get sent the individual clips from Bournemouth, but I'd rather watch the whole game, the whole 90 minutes again, than just watch my 15 minutes, 20 minutes clips. Because then you can see what you could be doing when the ball's on the other side of the pitch, when the ball's on, I don't know, where you're not really involved, because that matters as well. So there's only so much you can do and so much you can see when you've got the ball. There's a lot of football that you need to learn when you haven't got the ball. And so yeah, watch as many games as you can, get as much football in as you can now, and just study the game.
And I think that's massively important. Study the game because footballer's career is short. It's not the longest career in the world, but it's blessed as well. Let's not get twisted. You understand? You know, you'll be set up for a long time.
100%.
Any fullbacks? If the Premier League don't happen, it's going to happen for you. I know it is. But if it don't happen, is there any fullbacks for you? Like,
don't have any, man.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Nah, it's because I've always in terms of like I wouldn't say like I don't have any. That's probably being a bit too extreme, but there's nothing really on my mind that I've got something.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like it's all about, for me, even when I was younger, it's all about the teachers would be saying, "Oh, do you have any fullback options? What are your second options?" If you have a second option, you're not giving your first option 100%. That's what I always say. So if it's not 100%, how are you going to make it? How are you going to give yourself the best possible chance? So for me, it was never really like having a second or fullback option. If something happens, then obviously I've got the grades and I like sort of reading and I like learning new stuff. So I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem for me in terms of that. But I know I'm a hard worker in whichever field I go into. So yeah, man, it shouldn't be too sticky for me.
Nah, I don't think it will be too sticky for you. And the truth is, I think you go all the way. Well, I've told you already, and I need a look. I've got Ronaldo. I need the Gillela shirt here.
You get a Gillela top, man.
I need one here, right here, mate. Yeah. No, but that's quality. And is it a case where we will see you back at Billericay?
Hopefully, man. If the season continues, and then if it reopens again, then yeah, I want to get myself back in there. Next season, I'm not too sure what the possibilities are. I need to sit down again and then look at my possibilities of where I'm going to play football next season. But yeah, whether it be 23s or men's football again. Ideally, I'd like to be playing men's football again, and then trying to get more exposure, whether it be higher up in the football league. But yeah, man. Hopefully, I can get some games in before the season ends. Hopefully, if the season suspends, then obviously you've got to keep yourself fit, keep yourself ticking over for next season, and get yourself in the best possible shape for next season.
Nah, that's absolutely.
Staying at Billericay.
I have no idea. Again, it's the same until we get an official confirmation of what's going on.
Everything's still up in the air, so no one really has a clue, man.
I mean, we just got to keep working. I'm doing some clips for Jamie at the moment, so work never stops, innit? We continue to work for as long as we possibly can, and if the opportunity is there again next season, then I'll grasp at it. But if it's not, then I'll have some free time and I can come watch you play wherever you are. I can come follow, because I think now not only is it because I always like to, wherever I am, I don't just want to be a coach and have players. I'd like to create some sort of bond anyway. So that's why we can do stuff like this. If there wasn't a bond, if we were just you're a player and I'm a coach, that's it. That's our relationship.
Yeah. Would it be a bit weird, innit? Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a bit weird, and like I need to see that journey. Do you understand? Because I got a young one myself, and he needs to look up to players as well. And why not look up to someone like yourself who's there and who's doing it? Everyone looks up to Ronaldo. You get me? That's just normal. And based on that, I always finish with one question at the end.
Go on.
Because you might have seen it, you might not. Ronaldo or Messi?
Damn, you're really doing me like this. Oh man, Ronaldo or Messi? This is what I'm saying. There's so many stuff you could talk about. Like you just saying, who's the better football player, Ronaldo or Messi?
Now, who would you have? You had to pick one and play in your team. Who would you have?
To be as my striker in my team, I'm taking Ronaldo, bro.
My boy, yeah.
Ronaldo, man. CR7, man.
CR7, the legend.
The GOAT, man. The GOAT.
I love it. I love it. See, I knew that. I knew that's why I liked you. I knew
man. CR7, bro.
But
Messi's sick, man. You can't take anything away from him.
100%. I keep saying that. People think that because I'm pro CR7, I'm anti Messi. No.
Nah, man. I love both of them. That's what I'm saying. I love both of them. Honestly, I love them both. But if I was to pick one player in my team as my striker, I'm taking Ronaldo.
Yeah, he's a bags man, isn't it?
Bags man, my number 9. He ain't even know 7 that one, man. Stick him up top with my number 9. That's what I'm saying, man.
He can do everything. Nah, that's quality. An absolute pleasure having you on here.
Thank you very much, Rudy.
You've given me insight. I'm sure you've given the viewers insight, and you've given. I think without even realizing, you've given us a little bit of hope as a community that if you persevere, if you work hard, you can succeed at this. And the doors are not closed. No matter what people are saying, those doors are not closed.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most important messages that the viewers should take from this, and whoever's listening should take from this, that it doesn't matter about your skin color, your race, or whatever, or your religious beliefs, or all of that. If you can play, somebody somewhere is going to be able to see it.
100%. 100%. And no matter how many no's you take or endure, that one yes can change your whole life, man. So stick at it. No matter what you're doing, whether it be football or life, there shouldn't be a reason for you to stop.
Nah, I love that. I love that parting message. You understand? But guys, he's been Dinesh. I've been Rudy as always. Obviously you might be seeing our socials there. Make sure you give Dinesh a follow. I'm sure he can put up some challenges throughout this period. Where the youngsters can join in.
Got a couple bin shots on my Instagram as well.
I see that. I see that little techers and that.
Yeah.
Go and try it out. Go see if you can do it, boys. I can't, so I'll leave it to you guys to do. And whoever clips you get, send them to me. I'll send them to D and show him that you've been doing them as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, quality. Thanks for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Much, really,
we'll do it again another time. We'll talk about something else.
Man.
We will. It doesn't necessarily always have to be about ourselves. We can find a subject matter that we can talk about it.
Yeah, man.
You get me?
Got you, bro.
Could be non-league versus pro. Who knows?
Could do something, man. There's so much we can explore in this as well.
Yeah, of course, 100%. And if you've got any ideas, and obviously share it out to your viewers and share it out to the pros on your scene. And if any of your people want to jump on, even if I don't know and whatnot, happy to bring them on. You get me? Because every story is another story we can learn from.
Exactly, man.
So yeah, just keep bringing them on, guys. You've been an absolute pleasure. Dinesh, you've been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much for you, man.
Like, share, subscribe, do the rest of it. Follow our socials. And we'll see you in a couple days' time for another episode. Till then, peace.
Take care.